something more funny. Crypto influencer facing life in prison for a scheme. Let's watch this.
This so-called crypto king is now facing life in prison for this elaborate scheme, which involves allegedly kidnapping a wealthy businessman and holding him hostage for his crypto wallet. So, this is John Waltz, who many people refer to as the crypto king. He rented out a $40,000 a month townhouse in Manhattan, lived like a king, and allegedly ended up torturing a 28-year-old businessman and crypto investor for 17 days straight. The dude was allegedly...
Yeah, that's life in prison. Why would you let someone like that walk free? If he does that for money, imagine what he does for fun.
Allegedly beaten, forced to take illicit substances by two men who were trying to steal his Bitcoin seed phrase.
Arrested barefoot and in a robe, crypto entrepreneur John Waltz expected to appear in court today, accused of kidnapping a man to steal his Bitcoin password. But Waltz waiving his appearance at the last minute, his lawyer taking no questions.
I have no comment about the case.
Dubbed the Crypto King of Kentucky, Waltz now facing charges of kidnapping and unlawful imprisonment.
Okay, so let's break down the key characters of this case. You have John Waltz and William Duplessis and their alleged victim, Michael Valentino Teofastro Carteron. In early May of this year, Italian businessman Michael Carteron, he flew into New York from Italy after he had allegedly been lured by threats to his family. What he didn't realize was that he was walking into what prosecutors described as a torture chamber. Off the bat, I mean, this is just insane. We usually cover more lighthearted stories on the channel, but this is just straight up disgusting. They literally pulled the fly here now or we'll come for your family that you normally see in thriller movies, but in real life. Carteron, he was held captive in a luxury 17-room Soho townhouse rented by John Waltz.
Really? That's dumb.
And apparently John Waltz is known within the crypto community as the crypto king of Kentucky. So for 17 days, Carteron says that he was beaten, shocked, burned, and even forced to smoke various substances. And that is putting it extremely lightly. This was not your average crime scene, according to police reports. One scenario described it as the following. Waltz allegedly carried the victim to the top of the stairs, hung him over the banister, and threatened to end his life if he did not provide his Bitcoin password. What a wonderful vacation to America this was for this Italian man. Man, I feel bad for him. I mean, this is just vile. Keep in mind.
You also have to keep in mind that if he had given, you know, his seat to the guys, they would have ended him. Because they can't have any, you know, anyone telling on them.
While their endgame goal might have been acquiring passwords, it doesn't seem like they planned on leaving them there unscathed, whether that's mentally or physically. It's just super dark stuff over some Bitcoin. And as you can guess, they didn't stop there.
Prosecutors revealing new details about what they say went on in that multi-million-dollar Soho townhouse. Court documents say a 28-year-old man was allegedly there for more than 2 weeks, lured from Italy under threats that his family would be. According to court documents, the victim, possibly a former business partner, was threatened, stripped of his passport and devices, then beaten, shocked with a saw, forced to smoke, even dangled over a staircase, told to give up his Bitcoin password or be.
I mean, this is just absolutely insane. And the victim allegedly had about $28 million in the wallet that they were trying to get into. So I guess they lured him in with threats to his family, and while staying in a multi-million-dollar home, they torture him for the information. And bear in mind, this guy was known as the crypto king of Kentucky, meaning the crime is being committed by a dude who, at least online, portrayed himself as a wealthy person, as we do.
That's also the thing. I mean, you would think that he has some money, right? So he's just doing this for more money. Why? Why would you do that? This is dumb. I mean, can't you take your crypto money and, I don't know, build a business that makes money? I mean, that's what I would do. If I would be a multimillionaire, I would build a business, at least one. You know, because the money will run out. Even if I have so much money that it will never run out. If the inflation is bad enough, trillions of whatever currency will run out because of hyperinflation. If a loaf of bread costs you a trillion whatever, then the whatever will run out if you have a trillion. I mean, you know how this is going? This is dumb.
You know, with BitBoy Crypto, though, that can end pretty quickly. Yeah, I'll be making a video on that shortly. And honestly, I can't even say too many of the details of what actually happened in this house because YouTube would wipe this video from the face of Earth. But what I can say is it involved a fire, a chainsaw, and much more. And if all of these allegations are true, I mean, these guys should not be in prison, they should be under the prison. You're probably wondering, how did he survive the situation? Well, according to prosecutors, Carteron finally convinced his captors that his Bitcoin password was actually on his laptop. So when Woltz went to get it, Carteron made a run for it. He bolted out the front door and flagged down a traffic officer.
In stunning surveillance footage obtained exclusively by WNBC, that 28-year-old man from Italy seen running barefoot and bloody to a traffic cop, pleading for help.
Inside the townhouse, police found a saw, illicit substances, chicken wire, t-shirts with pictures of the victim with a pipe in their mouth, body armor, night vision goggles, ballistic helmets, a firearm, Polaroid pictures of the victim with this firearm pointed to his head, and ammunition.
Yeah. How would they weasel their way out of this situation? I think you can't.
I mean, as I'm listing up the list just kept getting worse. Every item here just sounds crazy, except night vision sounds pretty sick, to be honest. Like, come on, like, why would they need night vision?
Once the victim escaped, and once NYPD got involved, they obviously did a search of this luxury location and found all sorts of incriminating evidence, photographs, weapons.
But Woltz and Duplessis, they were arrested shortly after, and they pleaded not guilty to charges of kidnapping, assault, and unlawful imprisonment. And both at the time were being held without bail. I mean, I'm honestly really curious how their lawyers plan to go about this not guilty plea, because half the evidence that we've seen isn't going to sit well with a jury. It is a
Yeah, this is dumb. Oh, these photos and videos that showing my client doing all these things. He didn't do that. This is so dumb. Yeah. You know, there's a common theme about crypto bros not being very smart, and I think we have found two.
Common misconception that crypto cannot be traced, but if any of that money was withdrawn from the victim's crypto wallet, that money most likely would have been traced and linked back to them. Their first pretrial appearance was on June 11th, where they pleaded not guilty to charges of kidnapping, assault, unlawful imprisonment, coercion, and criminal possession of a firearm. Their next appearance was on July 15th, where they appeared before a judge for less than 10 minutes before the trial was postponed, awaiting additional evidence. But our most recent update, being July 23rd, both Woltz and Williams were granted a $1 million bail package. These next clips come from the ex-user Lauren Conlon, who has gone to every court hearing and has stayed up to date with the whole situation. Apparently, the judge had this to say.
The judge made sure to say that they will not accept crypto or Bitcoin as part of the bail payment.
They must also wear electronic ankle monitors, surrender passports, and go through a security inspection every 72 hours. So naturally, considering their not so guilty plea, their lawyers are trying to say this case isn't what it seems. Defense attorney Sam Tolkien, who represents Duplessis, said in court, the story that he is selling just doesn't make sense. The defense also says there's video of Carteron having a time of his life during the alleged captivity, alongside a video showing him at stores, church, clubs, and dinners. They even say there's footage of him at an eyeglass store showing him calmly smoking a cigarette on the street just before his escape. However, none of this footage is available for the public as of now. But so
does it even exist?
So far, prosecutors are not buying it. Sarah Khan said victims of abuse are not always going to act in a way that we expect people to do.
The prosecution is saying, no, that's not accurate. The victim here, there are text messages between John Woltz and his assistant, where his assistant's like, hey, can I take him here? Can I take him there? And asking permission for the victim to be able to go outside and things like that.
And here's the thing. For Carteron to have managed to escape the way he did, he would have had to convince his kidnappers to walk into the other room. Honestly, I'm surprised if he was held there for that long that he managed to escape that easily.
And the prosecution also said that John Waltz ordered the victim to be in a cage, and she said they found cattle prods and, you know, like dog collars and obviously chainsaws. A lot of that has been reported, but the judge, Judge Caro, at one point, he said, wait a minute, you're not saying, and he said this to the prosecution, he said, you're not saying that the victim was cut with a running chainsaw, were you? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm saying that. And he's like, wait, didn't you show me a picture of that? And she's like, yes, I did. And he actually goes, well, that didn't even look like it broke the skin. And the prosecutor was like, well, you know, they burned it to make the wound, you know, to cauterize the wound. So it seemed like Judge Caro wasn't buying everything that the...
Yeah. Because for the ones who don't know, a running chainsaw that cuts into flesh, that's a massive wound. Like you can't just scratch the skin. That's impossible. This is curious.
Prosecution was saying.
But it just seems like everything is very back and forth with this case, from the use of the chainsaw to the overall kidnapping itself. So you've got one side saying he was kidnapped and he had to escape. Then you have the other side saying, yeah, but look, here's footage of him running to the officer covered in blood. And that makes matters even more confusing.
He wasn't. I didn't see anything.
Here's footage of him running to the officer covered in blood. And that makes matters.
I couldn't see any blood there. Nothing.
Matters even more confusing.
Unless it's on a black clothes. But then I also can't see that because it's on black clothes.
Confusing.
The feds searched John Waltz's house in Kentucky and essentially found a manifesto of some sort where it said that, you know, they told people, or they were telling people they were government agents, and they were kind of obsessed with intelligence, and they wanted to take all of the, or they were planning to take all of the crypto and the Bitcoin away from evil people that wanted to use it for terrorism. So they were targeting evil people or something.
This is something. They might end up pleading for insanity. Because this is some crazy stuff. Like literally crazy stuff.
Like that, and it was all written in this manifesto.
So now, another part of their crypto kidnapping scheme was to essentially tell people that they worked for the government and that they're doing this for the greater good. Like, what is the story? It just doesn't make sense.
The prosecutor said that if they told the victim if he didn't cooperate with them that he would be a terrorist, and you know there were text messages about this fantastical plan to steal all of his money, and they found different documents when they searched the place, and the documents were basically wanting the victim to fill out his Bitcoin and crypto information, and a document that said he was violating the Patriot Act. Really wild stuff.
I mean,
which wouldn't even matter because he's Italian. If he is Italian and lives in Italy and does all his business there, the Patriot Act doesn't really matter. Unless he's doing stuff in America. Which I don't think he did. It doesn't look like it.
These guys are taking their roleplay to a whole new level, it seems. Not to make light of the situation, but like, I just can't picture dudes running after the guy with a chainsaw, trying to force him to sign a legal paper. Like they're LARPing Jason from Friday the 13th or something like that. Like the whole situation is just crazy. And then on top of that, there's this like government LARP involved as well.
You know, going back to some of the text messages, he's like, Your Honor, all the text messages between John Waltz and his assistant and William Duplessis about the victim, he's like, it's a joke. They even refer to him as Hog, this nickname they gave him because of his you-know-what size. So these text messages are totally taken out of context.
Okay, that kind of seems like a typical response we see here on this channel a lot. Oh, that was taken out of context. Like, guys, you have a whole arsenal of torturing and kidnapping tools all within your apartment, and obviously the victim who ran out covered in blood, the situation does not look like a out of context moment.
They also brought up the February alleged kidnapping involving John Waltz, you know, just to add to their case. And yeah, the judge was not convinced. So yeah, they will be out on bail as soon as they can get it all together.
So the incident referenced here took place a few months prior in February. A Holiday Inn employee contacted Kentucky police after being approached by a distressed hotel guest. The woman, who primarily spoke German, showed the employee text messages from her son claiming that he was being held by armed individuals. Using an online translator, the employees interpreted one of the messages saying, "They don't want to let me go. Bitcoin. Need help. They are armed to the brim." The woman explained this was only her second time in the US, and that her son, who lives in Switzerland, was staying with friends named John and Kayla at a house in Birdsville Road and nearby Smithland. While she didn't specify who was holding him for ransom, the information was relayed to local authorities. A Paducah dispatcher noted that Livingston County was already familiar with both the address and the individuals involved. Following the report, a Paducah officer confirmed that the name, John Waltz, was being associated with that location. So we have multiple victims, text message evidence, physical evidence, and a history of a similar situation. Apparently, this has all been shown to a judge, but he's not fully buying it yet. Interesting. But I guess you never know. And obviously, the public has less information than the judge.
Yeah, there's 100% something going on. But I don't know what. Hello Front Burner. Nice name. This is... I'm not sure what this is, but it's something.
So we kind of just have to wait and see what happens. Because, I mean, we've seen so many cases where the situation has done a complete 180. So honestly, I don't know if there's footage of him during those 17 days of torture out in public acting fine like nothing ever happened. So who knows? Maybe these guys have just completely miscued what hanging out with friends looks like. But alongside that, according to a family member, John Waltz isn't the villain. He's the victim. So the man...
Really? No, I have to cut this out of the video. Did you know that when strippers get money with on it, they have to report it to the government? It's gross income. Why? Why?
And accused of holding another guy hostage in his luxury Soho townhouse for over 2 weeks, torturing him with a chainsaw and forcing to smoke substances. All of this alleged, by the way. That guy, apparently, he is controlled to do so by other people. This unnamed relative told the New York Post that John is the kind, caring, and loving person. So I guess being allegedly controlled into allegedly kidnapping someone seems out of character for the crypto king here. The family member even claimed that Waltz was hijacked, manipulated, and scammed, and that someone stole his money as well. So according to them, the $100 million crypto boss is just a very rich puppet who somehow ended up ankle deep in one of the wildest crypto cases New York has ever seen. And if you're not already aware, this isn't just some one-off case, with crypto becoming so popular over the last decade to the point where literally everyone has heard of it. There's been this visual switch where crypto hacks used to basically always happen online, but now it's moving into the real world where people are showing up and literally taking them at gunpoint. Because now you have this...
This is crazy. Oh, stupid. All these greedy people.
It's extremely disturbing trend called crypto kidnappings, where criminals are ditching online methods.
That's already a trend? Oh god, this is so dumb. How do they even know that these people are crypto rich? Oh, don't tell me the crypto bros posting on the internet that they have money. You don't do that. Rich people don't, you know, if you're a millionaire, live in a nice house and have a nice car or a company, you don't post on the internet that, oh my god, I'm so rich, it's awesome, dude. You don't, because you're making yourself a target.
And taking things into the real world.
Crypto seems like the newfangled target for old-fashioned crime. Many people are turning to cryptocurrency. That's where the money is. that's where the criminals would go.
Apparently, in May alone, 26 people were charged in France for attempting to kidnap the daughter and grandson of a crypto CEO. In another case, French kidnappers cut off the finger of Ledger co-founder David Ballin and sent a video to his company. He and his wife were eventually rescued. There have also been kidnappings in Belgium, Canada, and Australia, forcing crypto executives to cough up over $1 million in crypto at gunpoint. But why is this happening now? Sadly, it's pretty simple. Crypto is extremely portable and pseudo-anonymous, because all attackers need to gain access to someone's cryptocurrency is the account password or seed phrase, and with a few clicks, money can be easily moved from one account to the kidnapper's account. So now people don't have to break into a bank vault or an armored truck to get away with a heist. They just need some seed phrases. But with that, what now? Well, Waltz and Duplessis are back in court on October 15th, and I'm assuming this gives them time to find potentially more victims and more evidence that will lead to a conviction. They're both facing up to 25 years to life in prison if convicted. A third person, Beatrice Fulci, who is actually John's assistant, she was also arrested and was initially charged with first-degree kidnapping and first-degree unlawful imprisonment. However, she has been released, and they have chosen to not proceed with prosecuting her at this stage. So who knows?
I wonder why.
She might be a little bit more innocent here. Imagine if she was just hired off Craigslist to be some crypto assistant, and she walks into this townhouse and she realizes, oh, this looks more like a Saw dungeon. Crazy. Well, I guess now I'm here, but who knows? Beatrice at least found herself right in the middle of this mess, and whether she was actually involved or just tagging along in the worst internship of her life, that's unclear as of right now. But the crypto community is getting rather paranoid, and rightfully so. Some companies are already working on kidnap and ransom insurance policies for crypto investors. In other words, if you're flaunting a hardware wallet and flexing on Instagram, you might want to rethink your security strategy as well as your life decisions.
Yeah, don't be stupid. That's basically what it boils down to. Don't be stupid. If you launder around that you have money, yeah, criminals will come for you. Every smart person knows that. Every smart person knows that.
Honestly, this is not the place I thought we would get to with crypto, but because we're not just talking about cybercrime anymore, we're talking about real life torture to gain digital money. I'm not really that surprised. The fly's back. Dude, and he's freaking gone.
Vegans must hate this video.
So hey, if you have stashed away millions of dollars in crypto, stay safe out there. But other than that, this story of Akon receiving $6 billion in government contracts to build a city, and he built a half-finished house.
We did that video. Hilarious. Oh my god. That's the only building that's standing there. It was amazing. So fun. If you like this video, give it a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. Now it's time for